The avoidant engineered the distance with surgical precision, withdrew just enough to create space, went cold just long enough to test your attachment, pulled back, expecting the familiar pattern to repeat. You would pursue. They would control the reconnection. The dynamic would reset with their power intact. Except this time, the script shattered. You didn't chase. You didn't wait. You left. And the psychological earthquake that follows dismantles every defense they built their identity around. Number 1. Their entire sense of relational power collapses instantaneously. The avoidance control in relationships is rooted in a specific calculation. They withdraw. Others pursue, and in that pursuit lies proof of their value and confirmation of their dominance over the emotional dynamic. Leaving flips the entire equation. Suddenly, they are not the arbiter of distance. You are. They are not the one deciding if and when reconnection happens. You decided it doesn't. The power they wielded through strategic unavailability evaporates because power requires someone on the other end willing to engage with the game. Your departure is the ultimate refusal to play. The avoidant is left holding tactics that no longer function, defenses that protect against nothing, and the devastating awareness that the control they believed was inherent to their personality was actually only possible because you permitted it. Without your participation in the push-pull dynamic, they're not powerful. They're just alone. And the aloneness carries none of the superiority they'd convinced themselves it would. Subscribe to Decode, the attachment psychology that governs relationships people can't consciously understand. Number 2. Your leaving forces them to confront that they are the common variable in every ending. The avoidant has spent their entire relational history constructing narratives about why connections fail that never implicate their own patterns. Partners were too needy, relationships were poorly timed, incompatibility was inevitable. These stories work as long as the other person stays stuck in the grief of losing them, because that grief confirms the avoidance narrative that they were wanted and the ending was circumstantial. When you leave without chasing, without trying to fix what they broke, without performing the devastation they expected, you shatter this story. Your clean exit suggests you recognize something they've been denying, that the problem isn't circumstantial mismatch, but their constitutional inability to sustain intimacy. They are forced to face the pattern they've been outrunning, that every person who gets close eventually leaves, not because those people are flawed, but because the avoidance attachment style makes staying unbearable. You leaving becomes the mirror reflecting back what they've done to every person before you, and the reflection destroys the illusion that they were ever the victim of bad relational luck. Number 3. They experience the acute terror of being the one who wanted more. The avoidant's entire psychological architecture is built to avoid being the person who needs, who wants, who reaches. They pride themselves on caring less, needing less, being immune to the desperation that plagues more attached people. Your leaving without pursuit obliterates this identity. For the first time, they are the one left wondering. They are the one whose thoughts spiral toward questions about your well-being, your next move, whether you think about them at all. They are the one who has to resist the urge to reach out, who experiences the crushing powerlessness of wanting someone who is no longer available. This role reversal doesn't humble them. It destabilizes them at the deepest level, because needing someone who doesn't need you back is the exact vulnerability they've spent their entire life constructing defenses against. You leaving makes them the anxious one. And that anxiety is the most unbearable emotion their psychology knows. They thought you would chase because everyone always chases. You left, and in leaving, you dismantled the only version of themselves they knew how to be.